If you're in your suffering patterns, if you're in your conditioning, you are looking for something outside of yourself to create your happiness and your joy. And this is where, when we are plugging into things like the stock market and what's happening on with inflation and economics and all that stuff, not that they're not real, they are absolutely real. I'm a financial professional for a reason. But what I'm here to tell you is that those that actually choose to find their center, choose to find their groundedness in their financial world, they don't get rocked by the news, the stock market, interest rates, inflation, cash flow, pandemics. They don't shock them. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Guess what? It is time for you to unplug from the financial global markets. What do I mean by that? Well, before we go into that, don't forget, hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell. Why? Because I'm going to help you get to a life that you absolutely love. And by all means, don't forget to go to juliemurphy.com, because I do group coaching sessions that we meet once a week, and that can help you on your journey along the way. So get on my email newsletter list to help you get there. Now, what do I mean by unplugging from the stock market? Well, if you're plugging into the craziness of the volatility of the shock news, like, oh my God, here it is. Oh my God, here's that. What? Okay. There are very logical things that are going on economically across the board. And I'm not here to be your interpreter of what that is, because depending on what hourglass and what hour and what day that you look through it, that constantly changes. But the one thing that doesn't change is who you are on a soul level. Now, what does that have anything to do with the stock market? Well, if you're in your suffering patterns, if you're in your conditioning, you are looking for something outside of yourself to create your happiness and your joy. And this is where, when we are plugging into things like the stock market and what's happening on with inflation and economics and all that stuff, not that they're not real, they are absolutely real. I'm a financial professional for a reason. But what I'm here to tell you is that those that actually choose to find their center, choose to find their groundedness in their financial world, they don't get rocked by the news, the stock market, interest rates, inflation, cash flow, pandemics. They don't shock them. Why? Because, it's like this morning, what I did is I drew this little chart. This is really funny. I drew this little chart this morning, and I was going, well, kind of think of it like your financial pyramid, and I was just sitting here drawing as I was talking to somebody. And I was like, it's about building up your base so that you're insulated from all these things happening. Now, your insulation is going to be different than my insulation, but you can't even think about building insulation if you're so nutted up about the fear of what might become. And this fear is reinforced by our friends talking about it, layoffs at work, or fear of layoffs at work, or fear of a recession, fear of whatever shock people want to get you to hook into on an emotional level, which is why I wrote my first book, The Emotion Behind Money, is because we all on some level have emotion behind money. And the question is what are you going to do about it? We have to learn to respond to what's going on in the things in the world economically, and not react from the things that are going on in the economy. It is a big difference. Now, if you don't have space in your nervous system, I have other videos talking with other health experts of how to calm that nervous system of yours, of how to get more centered. And that calmness and that centering will help you respond and not react to what's going on. But what I need you to do in the first place, if you are finding yourself in a place where you are reacting to the economics of what's going on right now, in the volatility, are we going into recession? Are we not going to recession? Are we in a correction, or is it bigger than a correction? Your nervous system's hijacked. That means you're plugging into the fear. So I need you to first and foremost choose. And I am telling you, this is a choice. I need you to choose to unplug. That means stop reading about it, stop looking at it, stop talking to it to other people. And instead, take that energy that you are putting over there with all this fear, not that you don't have valid concerns. And yes, you need to make smart economic decisions based on that information. But what I'm asking you to do here is to unplug from the reacting from it to responding to it. They're very different because I need you to take that energy that if you are reacting and it's tapped into the fear, I need you to pull that fear and that energy and pull it back into your system, back into your solar plexus, your third chakra. Take your financial power back. When you are plugging into all this fear and everything around the stock market, I need you to pull your empowerment, your financial empowerment back into your body and say, what do I need to create in my life so that this doesn't become an issue anymore? What do I need to create and do so that I am not plugging into that anymore? It may mean that you need to build more of your financial base up. It may mean that you need to clean up your financial past more, which is your financial debts, while you're living in the present moment and planning for the future. And I have lots of worksheets that are available to do that. I'll put a couple of those worksheets below. Whether it's a debt worksheet that you need to kind of map that out and bring awareness to your debts, or if you need to look more at what your cash flows are like, going, you know what, I need to create some space in my cash flows. So I'm going to say, I don't choose to do this anymore. I choose to do this now with my cash going out the door because you want to insulate yourself. This is about you creating your financial life, not somebody else. If you feel like you're being whipsawed by what's going outside of yourself, from your employer, the stock market, the war, pandemic stuff, whichever is that thing, if it's outside of you, that is the sign it's time that you need to do an inside job and stop thinking it's an outside job. And the sooner you do that, the better, because the lessons are going to continue to come. I talk about this in my first book. If you don't shift and you don't start to insulate yourself and create space and create intention behind what you want your financial life to look like, what you want your work life to look like, your family life to look like, if you're not putting the intentions behind those and then energizing those with your money, you're never going to get to a place of what I call real wealth, which is true happiness and desires, because you're not building your life from the inside out. You're building it from the outside in. So I hope this was super helpful for you today. And if you need some help doing that and you think, Joel, I don't know how to do that. Well, go to juliemurphy.com. I've got all kinds of things. I have a newsletter. I have blogs. I have other videos on all these topics. I have group coaching. I have books that you just have to pay for the shipping. I pay for the product of building the book and printing it. You just pay for the shipping. There's workbooks. I have online courses. But go to juliemurphy.com. I've got any tool at any price point to help you, to get you to where you need to be. You just decide to stop plugging into the fear and start plugging into creating your life exactly the way you want to. And if you need help along the way, I'm here to help. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.